Hello data nerds, what's up? So as we decided, we are going to dedicate the series for Power BI projects, and we started the series with an amazing dashboard which was Amazon dataset, and we built a 3 pages dashboard where we explored about products rating and which product has performed well, which product has not performed well, and things like that. If you have not practiced that, I will pin that video somewhere and you can go and practice that dashboard. In today's dashboard, we are going to explore the healthcare data set. It's going to be more like a reporting dashboard where we are going to, whatever has happened, we are going to put down in a dashboard in a more visual way. So anybody just sees this dashboard and will understand, will get an idea that how this sector, how this industry has performed in past few years. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the dashboard that you see on my screen, which we are going to build today. As you see, the heading says healthcare dashboard. In healthcare, you have multiple parameters, multiple factors like the insurance provider, the medication, the kind of medical condition you are providing, about the kind of patients you are getting on the basis of age, on the basis of gender, and stuff like that. Okay, so this was an overview page which I created, and as you go and just apply any filter, your dashboard will of course filter it out. You can have multiple selection, right? And then you can just clear the selection. Then we have here one slicer regarding, if you're not, let me just zoom in. This is about date of admission, so this is one kind of slicer. So you can just drag it down and the data, you see, these numbers changed. So these kind of stuff you can do with this dashboard. Okay, so this was the overview page which we built, which we are going to build now. And then we have this revenue analysis. So in this page, we have actually reported the revenue factor of healthcare sector, where we have created charts on which insurance provider has generated how much revenue, which hospital has generated the most revenue, top 5 hospitals that we have as per the yielding revenues, and then we have year-on-year trend with the help of line chart we have presented, and then also we have the top 5 doctors. So you have this page navigation. So currently we are on revenue analysis, and since currently we are on this page, you see this is highlighted and this is bold. If you want to go to the overview page, all you need to do is in desktop, you need to do control, click on overview, and you will be redirected to the overview page. But this is just a small walkthrough I gave you, so you have an idea that what you are going to build. So let's get started. This is my blank report. I have not done anything here. Let's load the data first. This gives you a little preview about the data set. So we'll just load this data because I think the data is already clean and I don't see the need of transforming it. Yes, so we have the data loaded in our blank report. And as you can see, in this data side, you have all the columns available now. So first things first, I'm going to change the Canva background. If you have a blank report and if you click on this format button you see here, right, you will have this format pane will open, where if you go to Canvas setting, you can actually control the height and width of the canvas that you want. I do not want 16:9 because it's going to be really small for me. I'll just click on custom and then I'll change this height and width. I will have height as 1300 and maybe width as 1500, right? I'm going to insert some shapes. The shape would be of this, and I want this shape, and then another shape would be maybe something like this. Where do we go? Since I created this dashboard already, so I have a rough structure ready in my mind, so I just added the shapes where I have to put visuals. But when you create a new fresh dashboard, you have to actually figure it out on your own, that how do you want this dashboard to look, which visuals you want to present where. So that call you have to take by yourself. Okay, one thing I forgot to tell you, that this canvas background, the white color that you see, this background, I do not want this to be white. I wanted a color, a light green color, which I forgot to change, so we'll change it now. So I'm going to use this hex code. If you want to use, you can use it. And as you see, you can't actually see the change on this background color, right? Why? Because we have transparency as 100%. So that you have to reduce to, depends like what you want. I want it to be reduced to 0% so I can see the color which I just applied, right? Now the background color is done. Now we'll just remove this fill. I want this to be filled with just white color, so I'll just search fill, and I will just reduce it to white, white, and white. Okay, and yes, I do not want any border. If you see, we have currently this border line, so I'll just select this visual and I go to border. Yeah, I don't want this border. I'll select this visual, no borders, no borders. So I removed all the borders. Now we have shapes ready. So we have shapes ready, we have a basic structure for our dashboard ready in our mind and on our blank report as well. Now the first thing I want to actually start building would be my KPIs. I always start with KPIs because they give me a clear picture of what I'm trying to present. Okay, so I'll start here as well. I'll just click on this build. If you click on build, you can actually see the options that Power BI provides you. Yeah, so I'll just go with cards. We have card here and make it small. So what all we have? We have billing amount. This will tell me what is the total revenue that this healthcare sector has generated. And then what do we have? Then we can have total number of patients. That will actually give you a figure that how many patients we have treated, right? So I can just count anything. Maybe I can count the numbers. Okay. So right now you see the first, it's coming as first name. I do not want first name, of course. I just right click and then I see these options. I'll go with count distant, right? So we have treated a total of 40, almost 40.235k number of patients, right? Then we can have total number of hospitals that we have, right? We can just add, again, first hospital, you need to change it to count distinct. And then you can have total number of doctors that you have in this healthcare sector. So I'll just drag doctors, and again, no first doctor, but count distant doctor, right? Now we have numbers ready. So let's just do the quick formatting thing. So first of all, I'd like to change the name of these. Currently you see the sum of billing amount, count of name, count of hospital, count of doctor. It doesn't look good. So I'm going to give it a good title so it will be easier for my users to see and understand. Okay, so I'll just do that real quick. Yes, so the name is changed. We have now total revenue, total number of admissions, total number of hospitals, and total number of doctors, right? Now let's do some quick formatting. First of all, I do not want any border, so I'll turn off the border. I don't want any divider. And if you have watched my previous dashboard videos, you must have understood by now that I am kind of a fan of accent bar. So of course I'm going to use that, okay? I'll just use accent bar. And so the color of the accent bar which I want is not black, of course. I would like to go with this color, which is a shade of green, right? And then I will increase the width of the accent bar, which will look something like this. This is good, right? I might reduce it a little bit. Yeah, so this is good. Also, I want the title, these titles that you see, I want it to go on the top of the numbers, right? So we'll search for that. Label, you see under call out, you see label. So I'll just position, I would make it on the top. Now the labels have gone on the top. I just wanted to play with it, so I turned on the shadow and it turns out really good, right? See, it looks good. So our KPI cards are ready and they look decently presentable, right? So we'll move towards other visuals. So we'll first work on our bar chart, which we want to add here, okay? So I'll just go and I'll drag this tagged bar chart. And here I'd like to see blood type. Maybe we'll have the patients. What are the number of patients that we have as per blood types, okay? So we'll have in y-axis, we'll have blood type. So I'll just drag blood type, and then in x-axis I can just drag the names, the count of names, right? And now the same thing I'd like to do for other parameters as well, and which will be somewhere. This time I would like to see patients by medical conditions. If you see the data set, we have these factors. So we had blood type, then we have medical conditions, and if you click on this drop down, you can see what all medical conditions you have, and patients of these medical conditions have been admitted to the hospitals. So I'd like to see the data of that as well. Maybe I'll also like to see that what kind of admissions type we had, right? The kind of medication that we have put our patients on, the test results, and things like that. First, I'm going to change this. The graph is going to be same. I'm just going to change the blood type to medication. As you can see, the highest number of patients that we have is arthritis, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, cancer, asthma, yeah. And then the third thing I would like, just copy and paste. I have my graph here. So now I'd like to see how many insurance providers we had. So I'll just remove this. So I'll just replace this medical conditions with insurance provider. I can just remove this with the insurance provider count only. That will be better. So Cigna is the highest insurance provider, and then we have Medicare, and then you have United Healthcare, Blue Cross, and then Aetna. Okay, so these are the insurance providers that we have. And then I'll just copy and paste this. After that, we can see that as per medication, how many patients do we have? So I will replace this insurance provider with medication and this count of insurance with the names of patients, right? So, okay, so we have on Lipter, we have the highest patients, and then we have this something called ibuprofen. I'm not really sure if I'm pronouncing it right. And then we have aspirin, then we have paracetamol, and then we have penicillin. Okay, yeah, so these are the medications that we have patients on. Now let's do some quick formatting. Turn off the title of x-axis and y-axis. They annoy me a lot. Yeah, so this is done. And then we have bars, we'll go on bars. So this is the color of the bar that I would like to go with. Yeah, this color looks good. And then you have, I'd like to turn on the data label so I can see. And I'd like to put this data label inside the bars. Okay, so I'll just click on this and position auto. No, I want inside end. Yeah, okay, so I think this is done. And I'll just change the formatting of title as well. So let's change the title. I'd like to know total number of patients by blood type. Okay, I want it to be bold and a little bigger. Yep, I think this looks good. I'll just click on this. I'll go in home, format painter, and then I'll format other visuals at the same. So I'll just click on this. You see, things are changed. Again, I'll click on this, format painter, same formatting for the other visuals as well. Yep, again same thing. The other formattings are already done, so no need to do the formatting one by one. This is a great idea. You can save your time and your energy as well. So I'll just change the title name. Yes, so we have successfully changed the title of the charts, and this is how it looks now. Looks good, right? Yep. If we just zoom it out, it looks pretty good. Okay, so we have our bar charts ready. Now we'll move forward creating pie charts or donut charts. So you have to understand when are you going to use the pie chart or the donut chart. When you have categorical data and you have less number of categories, it will be easy to show this on pie chart or donut chart. Then it's better to use these charts. Like gender, in my data set I just have two genders, so male and female. I can just show them on pie chart. It will not be very fussy while I show this on pie chart. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll just add maybe I'll add a pie chart. You can add a donut chart as well, and I'll just put gender in legend, in values. So our chart is placed, and we'll just copy this and create another pie charts, and we'll do the formatting at the end. So the next category which I'm going to select would be admission type, because I see we have just 3 categories in admission. We have elective, we have emergency, and then we have urgent. So this will be easier for me to show on the pie chart as well, right? So I'll just go in the reporting view, and I'll in the name of, now in place of gender, I'm going to replace gender with admission type, right? So where's admission type? Legend, remove the gender, and then we can have, and again I'm going to copy this and paste. Why do I copy paste? Because then you will not mess up with the size of the pie chart. Pie chart. So which is the next category that we should consider? Let's go and check in the data set, and we have something called test results. Let's check how many do we have. We have just 3 kinds of results of the test, so I think we can very easily show this on a pie chart. So let's go, and now remove admission type and just add the test results in the legend as well as in the values. Okay, so now we have this, and At the end, I saw that we had a column called age, right? Now I'd like to create a bucket out of this age, and I'd like to show that as well in my pie chart. It's always a good idea to show age in a pie chart if you have less number of buckets. Again, that depends, okay? I'll just write a DAX query where I'll create the age buckets. Let's write that. Right click, new column, and I'll name the column as age bucket. Now switch true. So here what are we going to do? We're just going to write an if statement, like if the age is between this and this, put it under this bucket. If the age is between this and this, then put it under this bucket. Switch true is an advanced version of if else, and it's much faster, much easier, much smoother. So we're going to use that. Now value 1. What is the value 1? The value 1 is nothing but age healthcare dataset age. Let me take it to the next line. If the age is greater or equal to, I forgot to show it to you, but I have already checked the age. So the youngest patients that we have, they are of 13 years old, and then we have around somewhere 86. So the age is starting from 13 years to 86. So I'm going to start my bucket from 13. So if the age is greater or equal to 13, okay, and the age is less than or equal to maybe 18, then we are going to consider that bucket as teen. Okay, teenagers, right? Then we have the same thing. I'll just copy this line and I'll just paste it here, and we can change the bucket. Now we are done till 18. We have to deal after that. So if anything which is greater than 18, okay, and less than maybe 35, okay, less than 35, or we can even take as 40. Let's take it 40, okay? Then we are going to consider it as young, and then we have if greater than 40 and maybe 65, not sure, I'm just taking anything, greater than 40 and less than or equal to 65, then we are going to consider it a middle age, and then the same thing paste. If they are greater than 65, okay, then we'll just consider them as remove it because I don't need it. Okay, 13 is not needed. Maybe old, I'm not sure, old, yeah, remove this comma, close this, okay? So this should create a bucket. Let's go in the data table view and check that whether this bucket has been created or not. Let's go to the table view, and yep, we have the bucket ready, right? So the first column, which is old, let's see what was the age of this person, 81. And as we told that if the age is greater than 65, the person should be put in the old bucket, and that's what has happened. Now let's just copy this visual and paste it somewhere here. I'm just checking if I could change it to donut chart. Maybe that will look good. Let's do some quick formatting. I see the data labels. If you actually closely see, the data label is currently in two formats. So one is number format, and then we have percentage format. I think it's always okay to have just one kind of format. So I'll just click on detail labels and then label content. So currently it's selected as data value as well as percent of total. I don't want that. I just want the percent of total. Now the value is gone, okay? Outside, I would prefer it to be inside. Then we have slices. So let's change the color. In male, I'd like to go somewhere with this color. And then female, we can change the color to a little lighter shade, right? So we have this, and then I'm okay with the legend placement. I just don't want this legend title, so maybe we could remove that, right? So we'll just go to legend and we'll turn off the title. There's something called inner radius. If you click on spacing, you get an option called inner radius, which is currently 60%. I'd like to play with it. Let's see what happens if I reduce it. Okay, so I get more space on these borders, so we can accommodate the labels in a better way. I'll just do the same thing, format painter, right? So do not manually go and format every similar visual. You can just use format painter. Click on this home button, format painter, Ta-da! So you must be wondering that why we have not got the same color of slices that we have in the above visual. The reason might be because here we have two categories, male and female, and in this admission type we have three categories. So Power BI does not decide on our behalf. That's why the color is not changed, and which is not a big deal as well. We can just quickly go and change the color. And I still see the labels are not well accommodated. So let's go and decrease the inner radius some more. Yeah. See, now it's better. Now again, select this, Format Painter. Ta-da! Okay, let's go and change the color of slices again. Okay, we can just do 43% like we have done for others. 43%, yeah. So it looks uniform. So now we'll just quickly change the color of slices here as well. Now I'll quickly change the title. Okay, no worries. This also looks good. So we have gender distribution, then we have admission type, then we have test results, and then we have age bucket distribution. So now we'll move forward. Well, I'm going to choose the line chart. Okay. And for this, I want to show the year-wise how many admissions that we have gotten. But if you closely look at the data set, currently we have the date in the form of date format, right? But I would like to extract the year part only because that's what we are going to need. So we'll quickly go to transform data, and I would select this date of admission. I'll go to maybe transform. In date section, I'll just click on year and year. This will extract the year. Now you see the date is gone. We just have year, and that's what we wanted. I'll quickly go back, close and apply. So now in x-axis, I would like the years. So I'll just add the date of admission. Now this date should be actually year, but I've not changed it. It's okay. And then in the y-axis, I can add the name. And now it shows the trend that we had of admissions. Okay, I'll do the formatting real quick. So I think we are done with the major visuals here. Quickly, I'm going to duplicate this page. I'm going to create a duplicate of it. Okay. So here, this page is going to be dedicated for revenue analysis. We are going to analyze that how much revenue we have collected with other factors. So the first factor which I'm going to consider for revenue generation is insurance provider. Which insurance provider has generated how much of revenue, right? So in this y-axis, I can just remove it with blood type, and I can have the insurance provider. Do you see it? Yeah. And in x-axis, I can remove count of name, and I can add the billing amount. Yeah. So it shows that Cigna has produced around 287. Let me zoom it in. Yeah. So Cigna has produced around 287 millions of revenue. If you remember, if you quickly go back to the page, you'll see Cigna was the insurance which has also gotten more patients admitted, right? So of course it has to be the highest revenue provider. I would also like to see the top 5 hospitals which have generated the revenue. So I quickly will remove this blood type. Okay, y-axis we can just have the hospital, and x-axis we can have maybe billing amount, right? Yeah. But I see there are a lot of hospitals. I do not want all of them, so I'll just go in this filters pane, hospitals. In basic filtering, I'll change it to top n, and then I'll just write 5. Now on which basis I want this top 5 to appear? On the basis of billing amount. So in by value, I'll just drag the billing amount, apply filter. So you'll see top 5 hospitals who have generated the highest revenue, right? Let's zoom in and let's check the names. So Johnson PLC is the highest revenue generator. Then we have LLC Smith, Smith PLC, LTD Smith, and Smith LTD. Oh my God, Smiths are kind of in a monopoly or what? The next visual that is coming to my mind should be of, we want to see a revenue of year-on-year trend. I think I would have this x-axis as date of admission only. Instead of count of name, I can just remove it and I can have billing amount. Yep. So you see the same trend. Of course, if we have more number of patients admitted, we'll generate more revenue, right? So that's how this is kind of directly proportional. So I'll just change the color maybe. So I'll just bring the format pane. Shade area would be, first of all, I'd like to change the line color. So the line should be of, this green thing. Yeah. So automatically everything is changed. Now at last we'll have one visual. I would also like to see that which are the top 5 doctors who have treated more number of patients and hence they have generated more number of revenues. So I'll just go and select this line and start column chart. Okay. In x-axis I can add the doctors, right? And column y-axis I'd like to see the billing amount, right? And in line y-axis, which will go somewhere like this, I'd like to select the names, so the names of the patients. So we can have, okay, we can see. Now I see it's giving the name of all the doctors, but I think I'd like to see the top 5 doctors. That will make more sense. So again, filter pane, doctor, basic filtering to top n, top 5, and by value, you're just going to add the billing amount, apply filter. So now you have these top 5 doctors. I'll just quickly do the formatting thing. First of all, maybe the column colors. I don't want this color. I'd like to go with this color. The line color, not this. The color should be this, right? Now legends, title, yeah, and put them in the down, top, maybe bottom center, better. Okay, the second thing, I would like to turn off the title of the x-axis and y-axis real quick. Yeah, done. I'll just change the title. We have title. So top 5 doctors by revenue and patients. Okay. Okay, so I think we do not have the data labels on, so we'll quickly turn on the data labels as well. Data labels, yeah. Now we'll quickly add the slicers and the headers, right? So this is my go-to slicer. I'll just add them. I'll drag this doctor and I'll drag this doctor, maybe. We can have doctor as the first slicer, okay. The settings, I do not want vertical list. I like to have the drop down, okay. And I'll enable the search button. It's easier for people to just search for the doctor if they have something in mind, right? This is one visual. Just copy paste it. And another slicer we can have of maybe hospital, okay. I'll just change it to hospital, everything same. And then we can just have a third, maybe insurance provider. That is also important information, right? Yep. So we have these 3 slices ready. I'll quickly format them as well. So not white background, I think I would go with this, yeah, yes, and title is fine, but the values should be, what if I, right now if I select, I think this is good, okay. And now we have these, and if I can just search something, maybe Smith, then we can get all the doctors which who have Smith in their name, okay. And I can just remove the search button, yeah, okay. And I'm just going to click on this slicer, format painter, and format the other slicers as well. Again, same thing with this. Yeah, I wanted to have a slicer of date of year, okay. So I'm just going to add this slicer, again same slicer here, and I would add admission, date of admission, yes. So now it comes like this. You can just drag it and the whole number will change. Maybe you would like to drag it till 2021. See, the numbers are changing, right? Okay, so I think we're done. All we need to do is just add the text box which will say healthcare dashboard, healthcare dashboard, right? Make it bigger, little, yeah. I think make it a little small. It's too big because I need to add one more thing. This is fine, bold, yeah, okay. I like to turn off the background, no need of background, yeah. So we have healthcare dashboard in place, the header in place, and now I'd like to add a page navigation because we have 2 pages. So I'd like to give the flexibility to my users so that they can navigate to the pages seamlessly, okay. So I'll just insert buttons, navigator, page navigator. This will automatically give you, make it small, not too small, yeah, maybe in between, what say, I think between is better, right? Okay, quickly Shape, colors, can we change the color? Fill, of course. So here it says that default, if it's default. So here, if we are in overview page, then how should default look like? Means financial analysis, how should it look like? First of all, the color should not look white. It should look something like this, and the font color can go maybe white, yeah, a little bigger. Okay, and if then we'll go to hover. If we hover, then what should happen? If we hover, then the color can turn maybe little dark, and the text can go a little bigger. It can be bold. So if we hover, it looks like this, right? If we press, same thing. Maybe this can go bigger, this can go this color, fill can be this color. Okay, and when we select, so suppose currently overview is selected, so what kind of formatting do you want there? I want it to be the dark color, the fill should be the darkest, and this should be bigger. So it should be very prominent that what we have selected, right? And I'd like to make it bold. Yeah. Okay, so currently it shows that we are in overview, and if we hover on financial analysis, you see there's a small change which is showing that you're hovering on this page. And if I just do control and click, so we are in financial analysis page, right? So I'm just going to copy everything that we have just created in my page. Control, select, and copy. I think it will ask you that do you want to sync the visuals? Means if you have these slicers, if you have made any selection in the first page, which is our overview page, do you want the same selections to be applied on this page as well? If you click on sync, the same filter is going to apply on all the pages, and if you click on don't sync, it's not going to happen. So I think don't sync for now. Okay, so now we are in financial analysis page, and that's why we have this as filled in darker color, in bold. If we just want to go in overview, we can just control click and we are back in the overview page. What say? Looks good, right? So yeah, this was it. We have built a little lengthy dashboard this time. I was assuming that you were building this dashboard with me. If not, then please open your Power BI, build this dashboard as I do. And if you have any question, you can always ask in comment section. I will be happy to respond. And we'll meet with another dashboard. Okay, till then, study hard and bye bye.